now.
What up? What up?
What up?
And what up?
What up, everybody? Welcome to Black Tea Talks. Got your host, Ray. My host over there, Z. What's going down?
What's going down is I'm laughing my ass off at the idea that everybody thinks that rich people pay fucking taxes, which they do not. There are no new revelations from these
Don't
fucking
get me
Trump
started
tax
on this
returns,
conversation,
bro.
brother.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at it as bombshell release of Trump's tax returns. I promise you, anybody who makes money, like good money, the way that Trump supposedly makes good money, fucking none of those dudes pay taxes, bro.
Man,
none of them. And all that did was prove it.
Well,
prove it.
He proved it a couple years ago, if you remember, when he was talking about the CEO, Jeff Bezos, of Amazon, and he said he didn't pay taxes.
Right.
So, for someone, they say the old saying in
America.
He
said he didn't pay taxes on the campaign trail in 2016.
You know, people, it takes one to know one. Just remember that. You know? Takes a cheat to know a cheat. Just remember that. We've been in America way too long. We know how Americans do things. It's like if you calling someone else out for something, most likely you know why.
You know why, or you did it.
Yep. You feeling some type of way about it. Exactly. And then my whole thing is, if people can't wake up from this, it's like this. All his supporters, right? So all the supporters, they say most of them are, far right wing, Nazis, white supremacists, rednecks. Whether that,
yeah, but you can't say all of them are.
All of them. I said majority of them are. They're showing, right? The ones with common sense and the real Republicans, they're kind of like backing off. I know a lot of Republicans, and they're like, that's Trump's party. That ain't our party. We don't represent. We don't like to do that type of outlandish stuff. I mean, we like to make money for our boys, and that's the big wig corporations. It's not for the people.
Right.
This dude right here he's intermixing a very, very dangerous mix, because you have some white supremacists, some very, very far right-wing guys, and then you want to mix them with politicians. What do you think is going to happen? What happened the last time we mixed corporations with politicians? Look what happened. You had corruption all over.
The corruption is rampant anyway.
And my whole thing is, this dude surrounded himself, majority of his cabinet, with people who had connections with people that we would deem either racist, white nationalists, or just people that you just wouldn't everyday associate with.
Whether or not people agree with me, I said it when he ran, that he was going to be racist white America's last breath, like their last grasp at full-on control, because they're watching white supremacy as an institution start to kind of fall apart before their eyes, and they don't know how to handle that shit. Hence the fucking last fucking ditch effort for a power grab.
I agree.
But I just don't see this working out the way that everybody thinks it's going to work out. But I also don't see it ending well either.
It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well whether who wins the election, because
the next year is going to be ugly.
It's going to be very ugly. I mean, people are already in an uproar. People are already pissed off. People are already looking for a change. You know, when Obama got elected, he was saying change. So he deemed the narrative, let's change America.
Yeah, but he didn't do it.
Well, the reason why Obama didn't do it, if you remember, we talked about this yesterday. They did stall politics. It's what they do. Whoever gets in, they'll just stall the fucking politics.
There's more
for
to
however many years it goes. There's a lot more to it. But with Obama, there was some racist shit behind it.
There was racist shit there, but I'm just saying there's more to it, because even then, if you look at like Obama's policies, like he was still very much in the corporate pocket. So
I agree.
it's still every president and almost every politician in our current fucking government form is in the corporate pocket.
I agree.
I don't give a fuck what side of the aisle it is. The Republicans are fucking in the corporate pocket, and the Democrats are in the fucking corporate pocket. So the bottom line is this. If we're going to have any hope of trying to fix the fuckery that is America currently, we have to eliminate both parties. If we don't eliminate both parties, we need to introduce a third, fourth, and fifth party into our system, because now it's all fucking there.
Yeah.
All of the proof is in front of you. The fucking Republicans were saying that the Democrats were always in the pocket of corporate America, and that all they're trying to do is enslave you for corporate America, and that's fucking true. And then the fucking Republicans are in the fucking pocket doing the same shit, stealing from you to keep all of their rich friends rich. So when fucking Bernie Sanders, that's why they never want Bernie Sanders. That's why they always go after him, because that top 1% wants you to be fucking arguing over Republicans and Democrats.
I know.
And only Republicans and Democrats. It is now past the point of necessity that both parties just need to fucking be made obsolete.
All right, so let's give the people something so they can look up. So what he's talking about is how the corporations pretty much got into the pockets of all the politicians. That is called AKA lobbying. Look up what lobbyists do. Basically, corporations send someone down to the building, and they try to introduce bills. But basically, they just pretty much butter people's pockets the whole time they're down there. Basically, how a conversation goes is, hey, we would like to donate X amount of dollars to your campaign, but we're looking for some help in this end.
You scratch my back,
I scratch yours.
The same shit that they wanted to impeach Trump over is the same shit that lobbyists do to all of your government officials regularly to keep money in the corporate pocket. And screw you.
Take money out of all our pockets, not the corporation's pockets, because the whole conversation of this show is Trump not paying taxes, but in reality,
it isn't Trump paying taxes.
It's just not in reality. It's not just Trump.
People.
It's rich people not paying taxes, and it's coming to a whole. If you guys can't wake up and see that we're being taken advantage of. All of our hard-earned money is going to someone to ride in a jet somewhere, to drive a Lamborghini, go to the best hotels, golf resorts, do whatever, all on our dime. Because all they did was send someone down to the politicians and make laws to tax us more. You guys got to wake up, because the shit's real, and the shit's about to get even more real. Like he said, next year's about to be a whole new ball game, whether who wins. Doesn't matter.
We've got 4 years. We have a midterm election and the next presidential election to get new parties. New parties. So literally we don't have much time left if we're gonna try and do anything to save this bitch.
Man, we're done with the parties, bro.
We got to figure out how we're gonna get new parties. The Republicans need to be made obsolete, and the Democrats need to be made obsolete.
Or eliminate both parties. Because here's the deal, brother. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to say to everybody. This is America. America is the land of the free, where dreams can happen, where people come from all over the world to come here to make a dream happen. And they do it. And they do it because they don't get intertwined with the bullshit that we get fooled upon. Someone dangles a carrot in front of us and we go for it right away. And we got to wake up. We got to stop fighting. Eliminate the parties. It should just be a people's party. Basically, American, like the parliament, how the British do it.
The People's Party is a party.
Well, you know what I mean, brother. You know what I mean. I don't mean exactly that. Or
look, here's the deal, though. There's always going to be a segment of America that has an opposing view. Hence, the Roe versus Wade debate, which is essentially the split between Republicans and Democrats. It's like essentially that particular.
Yep. Roe versus Wade.
That particular thing.
I think that there's bigger issues to fight over, but
I think there's bigger issues to fight over too. But if that is the only thing that separates a Republican and a Democrat, then there's definitely plenty of room in between for other parties to exist.
Exactly.
Because not everybody is going to care about that particular court decision.
Yep.
They're not going to base their entire political outlook on the Bible. Because honestly, if you were being truthful about how this country's supposed to be run, the separation of church and state starting to blur.
It's starting to blur.
Starting to blur. And if you're being real freaking serious about this, you need to put a stop to that.
I agree.
Immediate.
100%. Yeah. It's like America, if we go off of, how we were founded and the rules were pretty much put in place for a certain group of people. It was never a place where the rules were flourished for everyone.
They worded it that way.
Yeah.
The idea is you word it for everybody, so they allow you to maintain your control. So that's how the ideals upon which this country were founded are fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
They're beautiful. That's why they are the shining beacon of fucking democracy across the entire world. And that's why we are supposed to be leading the globe.
We could lead the
picture of democracy.
We could lead it. But we gotta come together and fucking start working together.
That shit is just as fragile as your population allows it to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And our population
has been fucking pussified since the 60s.
And now it's erupting.
And now you're seeing the results of what happens when you become lackadaisical.
And it's
and indifferent.
It doesn't help
stop participating in your government. When you're not paying attention, when you're not watching, when you're not really studying who you're electing as your officials, when you're not doing your due diligence, your proper research, you end up with the Clintons, you end up with Trump, you end up with Obama, you end up with Nixon, you end up with all of these dudes.
Yeah, all the dudes in somebody's pocket.
You end up with everybody. All it does, it takes some research. We live in the era of information now. So if you really want to dig in hard enough, you can find out who is owned by who.
Oh, I know.
But you have to put in the work to find out who is owned by who.
That's the problem with America.
Government.
A lot of people don't want to put that work in. They're like, I ain't getting paid for it. I'm not putting that work in.
I ain't putting the work in. I don't even want to put the work in.
I agree. Me neither. But you know what?
I spend most of my time
educational.
Right. It is educational. And it's good beneficial. To know. But I can read personalities better. So I spend most of my time when I'm trying to figure out who these politicians are watching House floor debates and watching Senate floor debates. And like, dude, I can spot your hypocrisy. It's not hard.
I'm a good people
you put it on display. Not a lot of people spend their days ever really looking at House debates or Senate debates because they're fucking boring to watch, legitimately.
They're very boring.
And they're very, very flamboyant about it. Everybody's up there grandstanding.
Yep.
So you have to watch their bullshit.
Yep.
You have to read through their grandstanding to see who's there to actually accomplish something versus who's there to be a fucking political actor. And that's really what you have. Again, you have to watch it. Otherwise, you're just going to listen to the words that somebody says these motherfuckers say, and you're going to take that shit for what it is. You can't look at. You got to look at their eyes and see the way they're presenting that shit.
How they ask the question, the questions that they ask.
The questions they ask,
the things that they're proposing. What are they talking about? Another thing is, I wanted to say this. America was based upon, Christianity. We say in God we trust on all the money that we have, right? And my problem with that, me and my wife just had a conversation about this a couple days ago, and she agreed with me because she finally seen it, and she was like, I know, because I used to go to her church back in the days, and this is before we were married. I walked in there. I think I was probably the only black dude who walked in that damn church. And,
probably.
Yeah, and I didn't notice because I just felt like everybody was staring at me when I walked in there.
Right.
She felt it too. And then they told me, even though I was baptized, Baptist, raised Baptist, I wasn't raised Lutheran. I don't have to get confirmed to take communion.
Right.
For one, where does it say that in the Bible that you have to do that? But my whole thing was, when I went there, they wouldn't even let me take communion, bro, because I wasn't confirmed through them.
Right.
Who in the hell are you? Are you like the Messiah or something? Did God appoint you and say that? Because that's pretty much what you're telling me. And I thought that when I read the whole Bible from front to back, believe it or not, yes, I did it. People aren't really true to what that says. I mean, if you're supposed to turn the other cheek, give someone another way, and help someone. Obamacare, for instance. Obamacare was supposed to help the people that couldn't have access to health care, right? Now, a lot of rich people and a lot of middle-aged people had a problem with that because their shit went up a little bit more. Okay, we stay in a country where we're supposed to help everybody. Most people in this country say, oh, yeah, I'm Christian, or that's what I was raised, or that's what I identify with. Whether it's Baptist, Lutheran, Protestants, whatever, Jehovah's Witness, they all have pretty much the same concept. Be kind to others, turn the other cheek type style, and show your brother in love. If your brother needs help, show some help. Most religions are based upon that. Let's keep it real here. But when you come in this country, we bend what we want to choose to read. The Bible, only parts of the Bible apply in this country, if you notice that.
I was talking to
always
somebody.
Be accepted.
Who was I talking to yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. Either way, we were having a conversation, and then I had to stop it because I said, you can't get me started on the conversation of the great American hypocrisy. Because the entire country's, like, the whole thing is hypocritical. And as much as I love America as a country, but if we are going to be honest, all of the land that you made a treaty with somebody and you broke the treaty, you brought a group of people over here to build everything, and then you said you were going to compensate them. You didn't. You regularly tell the people that you're going to work on their behalf. You don't. You get all the corporations are saying, come and work for us. We're going to pay you. They hoard the money. They say, we're going to give you this for your health care. Like they stash that away. All it is is the constant fucking okie doke. Yeah. It's the great American okie doke. Watch me ride here while I pick your pocket over here. That's all this is. And it's been that way since the beginning. So you say I'm supposed to love the country. And I do love this country more than I love any other country on the fucking planet.
It's the only country I know.
It's the only country. Well, it's not the only country I know, but it's what I lived in my entire life. Yeah. I went to Africa. It's a beautiful fucking country, but that's not my fucking home country. Yeah. I am American. Yeah. Through and through, full-blooded American. I'm loud, annoying, and boisterous. I will do all of that shit. I don't give a fuck about 75% of the rest of the world's leaders. I am that level of American. I'm studying it now. So, as an American, as a full-blooded American, I'm telling 100%. You, we are hypocritical as shit in every single thing we do. If we are going to fix that, if we are going to truly be a better country, we have to fucking stop the hypocrisy. Yeah. At least curb 75% of that shit. Be hypocritical for some of the shit because that's what the fuck we are. We're Americans. We're going to be hypocrites sometimes. Yeah. We can't be all perfect.
No.
But if we're going to be honest, if we're going to run the country not like it's the fucking worst country on the fucking planet, we have to curb the hypocrisy.
Yeah. Curb the hypocrisy.
Curb the hypocrisy.
Yeah. I agree. Come together. Yeah, another thing too, if everybody just finds something, one positive thing that they can do every day for themselves, just for themselves, and then they do it every single day, eventually they'll come to find themselves, I really don't have time to spin shade on this guy, because you're feeling good. Most people are dicks because there's something going on in their world that they feel that they need to be a dick and be an asshole to everybody else in a formal way. It makes them feel better or some type of way of power. Because if I can make you feel bad about your day, I ruined your day, makes me feel bad.
Personal psychological empowerment.
Yep.
You know.
And a lot of people in this country try to do that. They try to look down on you. They try to talk down on you. And then once you try to tell them, something like, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of white people, and like after talking to me, they're like shocked, because obviously I broke a stereotype that they had in their head.
Right.
They're like, oh, I wasn't really thinking this guy's gonna be this intelligent. Oh, I wasn't really thinking this guy's gonna be this type of guy. Oh, I didn't know he was this knowledgeable. Oh, I didn't know he can do all this. And it's like, oh, all you had to do is ask questions.
Ask questions, though.
A conversation. Just because of my skin color, I may have 100 things in common with you. You don't even know that until you have a conversation with someone.
One of the most annoying things ever. Is saying, oh, I didn't think you were going to be so eloquent with your words.
Eloquent.
Like, dude, when I want to speak
motherfucker, I read
to you
books. That's why.
Properly, I will.
That's why I'm intelligent. That's why.
But because I use proper English and shit, what? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I get so irritated with that.
I used to get irritated, bro. But I don't anymore.
When I was younger, I had more tolerance for it. But now that I'm older,
I'm more tolerant.
I'm not as tolerant to it. And the reason I'm not as tolerant to it now is by now you should fucking know better.
True.
And that's
but this is America we're talking about.
But I'm still, this is the same America that I grew up in. And in the 80s, we were better off than we are now. And that's at least when it came to personal interactions.
I agree.
Peers,
I agree 100%.
It was messed up, but I'm just saying it got better for a while.
I grew up in Milwaukee, bro, and Milwaukee is known. Most people know Milwaukee's pretty segregated. It's black, white. Everybody sticks to themselves in that town. But when I grew up in there in the 80s, it wasn't like that. It wasn't segregated like that. People were mixing. People were cool. Whatever. And I had white friends. I had Asian friends, and I didn't notice the racial tension really till I moved to Minnesota. As I got to a teenager, then I noticed the difference. And I was like, oh, there's a difference now. White people they weren't like assholes, but they talked to you in the 80s. It was like they knew your parents, and it was like, hey, you guys, cool, whatever. I mean, nowadays, you can't get a motherfucker to talk to you or even wave at you, let alone eye contact you walking down the street.
Right.
That don't even happen no more. Versus like, hey, kids, how's it going?
It extends to a whole lot of stuff. I was talking to somebody about the fact that we were all latchkey kids and that our parents they were always at work, so they gave us keys and we were able to just come and go as we pleased and all of that other stuff. That can't happen. You were raised by the entire neighborhood.
The whole neighborhood knew you and your parents.
Yup, the whole neighborhood knew you and your parents.
Yeah.
If you got in trouble,
they knew.
From 3 blocks away.
Yeah, I'm telling your mom.
Somebody was either grabbing you and bringing you home, made a phone call and telling your parents, and they were coming to get you.
I'm calling your parents.
Everybody knew everybody for like miles.
I know.
For miles, they knew everybody. That doesn't exist.
This generation
really
don't even know about that, man. And a lot of people that are age and older, they know exactly what we're talking about. Like, man, like I'm telling Mrs. Williams, like I'm gonna give her a call if y'all don't stop. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Somehow, some way, they figured out how to make everybody so afraid of their next door neighbor or not give a fuck enough about their next door neighbor.
Yeah. Unless it's telling on them.
Right, unless you're snitching. They want you to snitch.
And get them in trouble.
They want you to snitch. But as far as like helping everybody out to do something for your neighborhood or community that's positive or to help somebody who's having a hard time or to keep trouble outside of your block or all of that stuff, they figured out how to snatch all of that away from you.
I know.
And make you dependent upon the law enforcement that you fear.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And people don't want to call it. See,
they don't want to call it for what it is, man.
They don't want to call it. I know.
Socially, you've cut yourself off from each other.
Basically.
And technology's helped with that. I'm not going to lie. Video games help with that.
Yeah.
Cell phones help with that.
It's probably getting worse when the AI comes out.
Yeah.
When the AI comes
AI's already, I mean, like...
It's out, but no. I'm talking about the AI the true AI that when it's fully unleashed, there's AI in your phone. There's AI in pretty much a lot of different things. But the AI that I am talking about is the AI that truly knows you. For instance, I'm gonna give you an example. The AI. You wake up in the morning, or your alarm wakes you up in the morning, but it's your AI waking you up, telling you, calling you by your name, letting you know.
Oh, you mean your Rosie robot?
But not even a Rosie
like
robot.
Like the Jetsons?
But kind of like that. But it's going to be either in your phone or on your watch. The wearables and the smart devices, the phones aren't going anywhere. I think it's going to be your phone first. Your phones, that Siri or the Google Voice Assistant, the Amazon Alexa, those are going to be the AIs that are going to be talking to you eventually. Your phone knows you better than you know yourself. And believe it or not, you guys don't know that. That's how much metadata it collects on you.
That's true.
And
that's why your marketing and advertising is so
spot on. Yeah, and guess what?
On you, they know exactly what you want to see.
Within 5, maybe between 5 and 10 years, we're going to see that AI talking to us all throughout the day. And the problem with the AI is that some people, because we're seeing a trend right now, they can't handle, a lot of crowds. They can't handle interactions with real life people because they're so engulfed in this or looking down at their phone like this. They're always like this and not enough physical interaction like me and you do on a constant basis. They may go to work or whatever, but it's going to be to a point the AI is going to be their friend. And the AI is going to be telling them about their day, telling them jokes, telling them what the weather is. But it's not going to be like, hey, what's the weather? It's going to be like, hey, today's a good day. Maybe you should get outside because your ass been stuck in the house for like a week. And I see you're depressed. And that ain't good. You need to get some fresh air. You're deteriorating. Rejuvenate. And that's going to be the AI that I'm talking about, that knows you on an inside level where it's going to be so annoying you're going to want to turn her off or him off because you're like, I don't want to be bothered today. And you're not probably going to be able to turn them off because you're going to be so addicted to your phone and you're going to need it for other things.
Or you had it implanted in your brain, Elon Musk style or something.
Well, what's his name? The guy that the great scientist that died. His name's what is his name, man? The scientist that just died.
You talking about Stephen Hawking?
Yeah, Stephen Hawking, the great Stephen Hawking. So he warned about that AI that I was just talking about, and people were like, "Oh no, that's too far off." Man, y'all need to do y'all research, man, on what's out there. There's laws right now, kind of like the cloning laws. You can't clone a human, but guess what? They have the capability of doing it. Whether they done it or not, don't know.
There's global loopholes to all things that you
exactly. Can't do. There's global loopholes.
So, for instance, here's a good one. You can't work on infectious diseases in the United States, but we have labs in other countries where we're allowed to work on infectious diseases.
Exactly. So there's loopholes.
So there's loopholes.
The AI
to all
is
things.
coming.
You can't clone humans in America, but I bet you could probably do that shit in China.
Over in China, and
you got mad cloned humans in China.
It's DNA, and it's kind of funny because they said they did this trend, and they was like over the last 50 years, 60 years actually. They said the technology's jumped 1 trillion times, dude. It's like the trend goes from the little graph goes like this. And then all of a sudden it goes,
right.
And it was like, what did you find? And it was during the Roswell time where it skyrocketed after that. It started just. So whether they found something and they're hiding that information, we already know the government fucking lies to us and hides shit from us always. So I don't even know what to believe anymore. But all I do know, the technology is there, and that if we don't educate ourselves right now about the things that we need to know to survive in this country, all of the information is going to disappear. It is going to be a privileged thing where you can find this information because they're going to start censoring this. When they did the thing, when Obama lost the net neutrality thing.
The neutrality? Yeah, the net neutrality deal?
What pretty much what that basically says is they have control over what you can watch, what you can surf, and all these different things. So basically, that just opened the door for a North Korea style internet, and where they censor everything that we can. So basically, what they want you to learn is what they want.